logging timber, searching for awaken, providing protection for bars, collecting debts for hire, dealing drugs. He was respected by crime bosses because he took on any job and did it well. After each deal, his place to unwind was the red light district. His wife, a gentle woman who fell in love with a gangster and was disowned by her family, no longer had the strength to feel jealous, nor the tears left to cry. She went to the temple, praying to bear all of her husband's sins in his place. Some people come to the temple with hearts as pure as jade, light and peaceful. Others come burdened with heavy worries. But no one was like her. She tried her best to remain unnoticed, yet whenever she visited a new temple, within a few days people would know she was the notorious gangster's wife. Every time she appeared, anxious eyes turned toward the donation box, as if it might suddenly grow wings and fly away. There were 6 temples in the town. She had already moved her worship from one to another until she reached the 6th. With nowhere left to hide, she had no choice but to face the whispers and endure them. The donation box remained untouched, but the whispers grew.
Is the money donated by a gangster's wife clean? Does it deserve to be placed with everyone else's offerings?
She quickly pulled back, the banknote trembling in her hand. Others might not believe her, but surely the Buddha would. She swore that this was her daughter's honest wage from working at a garment factory. Perhaps the Buddha witnessed her sincerity. For nearly her whole life, she had pleaded with her husband, who would promise and then forget. Now she said only one sentence.
Be careful. What the father does, the children will pay for.
This time, he was shaken. He looked at his 2 children, who had grown up without him noticing. His gentle daughter didn't worry him, but his son had begun smoking, gambling, and even arguing back. How are you any different from me, Dad? For the first time in his life, he wanted to change, so that his son could change too. For the first time, he felt fear. Fear for his child. He declared he would leave the underworld and took a job as a security guard at a garment factory. Yet he could not protect his own daughter, who worked at that very factory. As she walked out the gate, she was caught in a jealous attack meant for someone else. Someone shouted, "Wrong person, not her." But it was too late. The blade had already plunged into her chest, blood soaking her clothes. His gentle daughter died loudly, like a gangster in a street fight, though few knew her death was unjust. His wife sobbed.
I prayed to bear your sins, but it turns out our daughter is the one paying your debt.
At the funeral, for the first time, he learned the great compassion mantra. It was also the first time a group of Buddhists came to his house without judgment. They saw that his family was like theirs. Human suffering spares no one.
Sincerely chanting the great compassion mantra helps the deceased find liberation.
The nun said.
But the temple and fellow practitioners only provide support. The family's own effort is what matters most.
It was too late for redemption. He had done nothing for his daughter while she was alive. Now, for 49 days and nights, he chanted the mantra as a belated gift for her. Would it be enough to guide her to a peaceful realm? He wanted to believe so. Everyone else had memorized the mantra. His wife had too. Only he needed to hold a printed sheet, the text enlarged and bold so he could read without straining, even without his reading glasses. But his stumbling wasn't due to poor eyesight. As he read, his mind wandered. What am I doing? Can simply reciting this erase the raging grief and resentment in my heart? He kept seeing the woman, the knife buried deep in his daughter's chest. Then he remembered his son, staring fiercely as his sister's coffin was lowered into the grave, jaw clenched with hatred, throwing handfuls of dirt as if hurling knives. He shuddered. No, Buddha above, my gentle daughter's unjust death is already too much. I will chant this mantra for the rest of my life if I must, just let my son be safe. I am willing to forgive that mistaken, jealous woman. After the funeral, the underworld waited for him to take revenge. Nothing happened. They mocked him. He was old now, worn out. They heard he had even locked his son in a room, keeping the key himself. They sighed, he was finished. And indeed, he was. The key was still in his pocket, yet his son had escaped, bending the window bars. He searched everywhere. Whenever he heard rumors of where the woman was hiding, he went there. If the mantra could help his daughter, could it help him find his son before it was too late? He murmured as he rode, "Tar Baha, Tar Baha." Without the paper, he couldn't recite it fully. Buddha, if my son survives this, I promise I'll learn it by heart. Then came the deafening roar of engines, motorbikes racing toward him. He pulled over, and froze. The one being chased was his son. Dad, save me. His son jumped off the bike and ran behind him, back pressed against his. For a moment, they stood together. He clenched his teeth, he had to protect his son. For the first time, they stood so close. He noticed the faint stubble on his son's face. For the first time, he looked into his son's eyes, and saw fear. A real gangster doesn't feel fear. Fear belongs to small-time punks. Punk. His son was just a petty delinquent. There was still time to stop. The gang circled them. What do you want? He shouted. What has my son done to you? He did nothing, one sneered. We were paid to kill him. He turned to his son. What did you do? Nothing. I just stopped at a cafe, and they came after me. The leader smirked. What did you do to make someone pay so much for you? In a split second, he decided, my life is already wasted. Life for a life. Take me instead. Let my son go. Then he turned quickly. Go home to your mother. A phone rang. The leader answered, then laughed. Sorry, mistake. Not your son. The gang sped away. He exhaled deeply. Wandering around like this invites trouble. Come home. He didn't expect his son to listen, ready to drag him back if needed. But his son looked at him strangely. Just now, you said, you'd die for me. A tear fell onto his hand, warm. Later, the man told me his story in a vegetarian restaurant. At the trial, I saw the woman's children crying so much. It was her unfaithful husband that caused everything. She was pitiful too. My wife and I asked the court to reduce her sentence so she could return to her children sooner. Now, he has fully memorized the Great Compassion mantra. My son works as a technician at the garment factory now, taking over his sister's position. Every year he's rated top performer, he said, smiling, revealing several missing teeth. So miraculous. Back then, I only knew how to say, Ta Baha. He looked up at the sky with reverence. In his eyes, the Buddha is always above.